Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm going to be your host and producer for this show, Logan Landers. Joining me today is a very special guest, a very talented writer, and is now making his farage into the world of podcasting and being an on-camera talent. The very talented Mr. William Yanish III. How you doing this afternoon, sir?
Oh, I'm definitely doing all right. Definitely
Good, good.
excited.
Yes, sir. Draft season is right around the corner. And we were fortunate enough last week, if you didn't catch it, it's on our Facebook and YouTube channels. We're actually able to sit down and talk with Rocky Lombardi, quarterback out of Northern Illinois last week. If you don't get a deeper dive into that young man, learn more about him, his career up to this point, and a little bit more about his skill set on a personal level, go and check that out once again available on Facebook and YouTube and also on our podcast available each and every single week. Go check that out and give that some love. It was an absolute pleasure talking to this man, and I'm excited to see what we're going to say about him in this episode. So without further ado, Mr. Yanish, please give it away, sir. Talk about Mr. Rocky Lombardi, quarterback out of Northern Illinois. What do you like about the young man?
Man, this kid, I told them a while back, I was talking to Rocky, and I was like, every time I dig up more about you, there's just so much that's, the love in a football player. This kid his IQ is through the roof. His physical traits are obvious. I've got my uh, two evaluations out on a first round mock right now. Equations was the initial one, and here comes the boom. Just out this week, and I've been sitting here and watching so much film and watching stuff from him working down at the Test Academy in Florida with Tony Raciopi, and just seeing how hard the kid works and is off the charts, you know. I mean, and then I did a little bit more digging after um I did, the evaluations from his physical standpoint and what was all over the film. But then, I started asking questions, and this kid, has one undergraduate degree. He's got two graduate degrees, a master's in sports psychology and a master's in sports administration. And he's got degrees from Northern Illinois as well as Michigan State. That just speaks so much right there in what it takes to run an NFL offense and having that kind of IQ. It's like, I talk about Michael Pratt, and he, had offers from Harvard and Princeton and Yale, and uh, Michael Pratt and Tony Lombardi, or Rocky Lombardi, are actually both down there at the Test Academy, training together. And those, I mean, Michael Pratt is one of my big three quarterbacks. This, and so these two quarterbacks have so much in common between what's going on in their mind. They're pre-snap reads. They're, running a pro style offense. Not doing the whole spread or anything like that. It takes a little bit to run pro style, and I just want to know, I, Brock Purdy, they, still haven't given any credit where credit is due from what he had done and what he means to that team. And the same thing is being done here with Lombardi. No one is talking about him, and it's like, man, I'm talking about him. It's like, what? Just sit down and watch the film. This kid is unbelievable. 10 come from behind wins, in the last 2 years, and four more where the defense gave it up, where he put him ahead and the defense gave it up. And so, I can't figure why, Daniel Jeremiah and, Bucky Brooks and all these former scouts, that are on the sports media and what they feed off of, just taking lists literally and shuffling names, here and there. It's like, man, come on. It's like you guys have to do better. I mean, you have to get out there and watch the film. The film doesn't lie. I mean, that's our thing at First Round Mock. The film never lies. And this situation is just, it's baffling to me. I said last December, I said that Spencer Rattler was the most Mahomes-like prospect since, well, Mahomes. Well, the thing with Rocky is Rocky Lombardi is the most Josh Allen-like prospect since Josh Allen. And I mean, they got so many traits in common, big arm, they can move. Rocky's got significantly better touch than Josh Allen does. I can tell you that right now. And somebody needs to start, paying attention to these players instead of, trying to get people to stadium or get people to buy jerseys or anything like that, and you need to get back to the pure footballness of everything. All this other stuff where the money's at is just, that's also baffling to me. I mean, all they have to do, I challenge anyone, just go ahead and view my articles on Lombardi and watch the film at the end and tell me what you think. I mean, I would challenge anybody to have, a genuine, intelligent football conversation with someone, and all they'd have to do is do a little bit of film work on Rocky and tell me what they think. I mean, these things it's simple to see, and I think that's why a lot of people don't see it, because they're trying to look too deep. I mean, it's like, keep it simple, stupid, and
yeah,
I mean, that's what I have on them.
No, I mean, and you bring up good points, William, and obviously great analysis there. What I like about Rocky Lombardi is, as you mentioned, guy's got a lot of experience playing that many years of football in college. But you mentioned it is that he has something that you can't measure in stats. You can only see in game film. Actually, it's two things. It's that clutch gene, what you do when your team's behind or when you're in a crucial period. Can you get your team to the end zone or in position to win the game? And he's also just got heart and tenacity, if you can tie those into one thing. His toughness as well. It's second to none. With the amount of the amount of hits this guy takes, all the sacks, all the hurries, all the late hits and whatnot he's had throughout his career. But he just keeps up and keeps on going, man. And as we learned from him last week, he was a very talented wrestler in high school. That's where that toughness comes from. And when you look at Rocky Lombardi, I think the one thing a lot of people are going to nitpick at and really just kind of circle and be like, well, I don't know. This is maybe a little off-putting, and that's his turnover to touchdown ratio. He does have the susceptibility to throw an interception or two. However, when you look at that, though, you see a guy who's just chucking the ball, right? He's thrown the ball over 300 times in two seasons, this past year in 2023 and this in 2021 as well. But he's a gunslinger. He is a guy who has to make a lot happen with his arm talent that maybe isn't there on the field to help him, let's say. And I think that is what could equate to that turnover ratio. But we've seen that guys can have that high margin in college and then come into the NFL, and if they keep working hard enough and everything, if they listen to their coaches, they can cut down on that and be solid players. I think that if I had to describe Rocky Lombardi in just a few words, I would say he is a potential hidden gem. And I say that because you mentioned it, William. There's a lot of good, talented quarterbacks who are being talked about and hyped up. Obviously, that seems to have been the trend the past couple of drafts, but I feel like this one more so than even the last few because of all the talent that has said, "Hey, I'm throwing my name in a hat and seeing where I go this year." And Rocky, unfortunately, just kind of got lost in that shuffle, which is a shame. But that's what we're here to do, though. We're here to break down not just the big names. We're here to break down the guys who have been gamers, have been working on their craft for many years at many different schools. And that's why we're here talking about Mr. Lombardi, someone who, if you can get him on your team, he's going to work. He's going to grind every single day. And he's going to prove why he deserves to be on your team in the quarterback room. So I think that Rocky's going to have a good career. I wish the best for him, honestly, after talking with him. Seems like a really nice, genuine guy. All of us here on the show wish him the best in the NFL draft coming up in just a little bit. Excited to see where this young man's going to head to in just a couple of weeks. As always, Mr. Old habits die hard. I want to call you Mr. Football just because I do so many videos with that guy. But as always, Mr. William Yanish III, it was a pleasure, sir, talking with you about Rocky Lombardi. I've been your host this afternoon, Logan Landers. Guys, once again, go check out the rest of our episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Check out our interview with Rocky we had last week. And as always, guys, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you on another